Right now, as you're watching this, someone is watching you. Your phone, your laptop, that smart TV in the corner, they're all listening, all recording, all sending data to servers you'll never see, owned by companies you'll never meet, protected by laws you'll never read. And here's the part that should terrify you. Every single bit of it is completely legal. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is documented fact. Congressional testimony, court records, leaked documents. Mass surveillance is real. Your emails, your texts, your location every minute of every day. All collected, all stored, all analyzed, and you agreed to it. You clicked I accept without reading a single word. They counted on that. They designed it that way. Today, we're going to expose exactly who is watching, what they're collecting, and why the people who should protect you are the ones profiting from your exposure. The legal framework. In 2001, just weeks after the towers fell, Congress passed the Patriot Act. They told you it was to fight terrorism. What they didn't tell you was Section 215. The government may require the production of any tangible things for an investigation. Any tangible things. Your phone records, your bank statements, your library history, your medical records, all without a warrant, all without your knowledge. And here's what's truly disturbing: they didn't even need probable cause, just a claim of relevance to an investigation. Any investigation. The FISA court, which was supposed to provide oversight, approved 99.97% of all surveillance requests in 2021. That's not oversight. That's a rubber stamp. Surveillance state. But the Patriot Act was just the beginning. In 2008, they passed the FISA Amendments Act, legalizing what the NSA had already been doing illegally for years. Retroactive immunity for telecom companies that handed over your data. No consequences. No accountability. The message was clear. Help us spy on Americans, and we'll protect you from Americans. But this legal architecture was only half the story, because while the government was building its surveillance apparatus, private corporations were building something even bigger. Corporate spies. Google knows what you search before you finish typing. Facebook knows who you'll date before you do. Amazon knows what you'll buy next week. This isn't magic. It's surveillance capitalism. Surveillance capitalism unilaterally claims human experience as free raw material. Every click, every scroll, every pause. They're measuring how long you look at each post. They're tracking your mouse movements. They're analyzing your typing patterns. And they're selling it. In 2023, the data broker industry was worth over $250 billion. Your attention, your behavior, your very identity, packaged and sold to the highest bidder. You are the product. Think about your smartphone. It has a microphone that's always listening for wake words, a camera that can be activated remotely, a GPS that tracks your location continuously, accelerometers that know when you're walking, driving, sleeping, and every app you've installed has requested permissions you never understood. If you're starting to see the pattern, hit like and subscribe to keep exposing what they hide, because what comes next connects the government surveillance we just discussed to the corporate surveillance you're living in right now. The merger. Here's what they don't want you to understand. The government and big tech aren't adversaries. They are partners. The separation is theater. In 2013, Edward Snowden revealed PRISM, a program where the NSA had direct access to the servers of Google, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, and others. Direct access. Not requests. Not subpoenas. A direct pipeline to everything you've ever typed, searched, or shared. The companies denied it. The government classified it. But the documents were clear. 1. Tech companies provided user data. 2. Government provided legal immunity. 3. Both profited from your privacy. 4. Neither faced consequences. And it goes deeper. The CIA's venture capital arm, InQtel, has invested in countless tech startups. Palantir, the surveillance company now worth billions, was born from CIA funding. The same agencies that are supposed to regulate these companies are funding them, partnering with them, depending on them. The watchers and the watched have become one. Your data flows freely between corporations and intelligence agencies, wrapped in legal agreements you'll never see. But the surveillance infrastructure they've built together goes far beyond what most people imagine. Your digital twin. They've built a version of you, a digital twin that knows you better than you know yourself. Every purchase, every friendship, every late-night search, every moment of weakness, all fed into algorithms that can predict your behavior with terrifying accuracy. A study by Cambridge Analytica showed that with just 68 Facebook likes, they could predict your skin color with 95% accuracy, your sexual orientation with 88% accuracy, and your political affiliation with 85% accuracy. 68 likes. How many do you have? They know your secrets before you tell anyone. Your credit score, your health risks, your likelihood to pay rent on time, your probability of committing a crime. Yes, they are predicting crimes now. Predictive policing algorithms are deployed in cities across America, using your data to decide who gets watched more closely. Guilty before proven innocent. Insurance companies buy this data to set your rates. Employers buy it to screen your applications. Landlords buy it to evaluate your tenancy. And you have no right to see what they've concluded about you. No right to correct it. No right to delete it. But as invasive as this digital profiling has become, there's a physical dimension to surveillance that's even harder to escape. Eyes everywhere. Walk down any major city street and count the cameras. Security cameras, traffic cameras, ATM cameras, store cameras, doorbell cameras. The average American is captured on camera over 70 times per day. 70 times. And those cameras are getting smarter. Facial recognition technology can now identify you in real time from grainy footage, from a side profile, even from the way you walk. Your gait is as unique as your fingerprint. They're tracking that too. Clearview AI scraped over 3 billion photos from social media to build a facial recognition database used by over 600 law enforcement agencies. 3 billion faces. Yours is in there. Privacy is not something that I'm merely entitled to. It's an absolute prerequisite. China has built the most comprehensive surveillance state in history, with over 500 million cameras and a social credit system that punishes citizens for jaywalking, posting criticism online, or associating with the wrong people. We're building the same infrastructure. American companies sell this technology to authoritarian regimes worldwide. The same tools used to track dissidents in Beijing are deployed in Baltimore. The difference is only in degree, for now. But surveillance doesn't stop at cameras. It extends into the most intimate spaces of your life. Your home betrays. Your smart speaker is always listening. Amazon admitted that employees listen to Alexa recordings to improve the service. Improve the service. Your private conversations, reviewed by strangers in cubicles. Your smart TV tracks what you watch. Vizio paid $2.2 million to settle charges that it collected viewing data from 11 million televisions without consent. Your smart thermostat knows when you're home. Your smart refrigerator knows what you eat. Your smart doorbell records everyone who visits. Smart devices' dumb choices. In 2017, police in Arkansas demanded Amazon hand over Echo recordings as evidence in a murder case. The victim's smart home was a witness against its owner. Your home has become a surveillance device you paid for. And it gets worse. Your car tracks your location, your speed, your driving habits. Insurance companies buy this data. Newer vehicles have always-on cameras and microphones. GM admitted to sharing driving data with insurance companies without clear consent. Every device connected to the internet is a potential surveillance endpoint. Every convenience comes with a camera. Every feature comes with a cost. But the most sophisticated surveillance doesn't require any device at all. Metadata tells all. They say they're not reading your emails, just collecting metadata, who you emailed, when, how often, from where. They claim this is less invasive than reading content. They're lying. We kill people based on metadata. That's a direct quote from a former NSA director. Metadata reveals everything. If you call a suicide hotline at 2 a.m., they know. If you call an HIV clinic, a divorce lawyer, a gun shop all in the same week, they know the story. Call patterns reveal your social network. Location data reveals your mosque, your therapist, your mistress. Email timestamps reveal your sleep patterns, your work habits, your mental state. Content is what you say. Metadata is who you are. The NSA collects over 5 billion cell phone location records per day. Per day. They can map the movements of entire populations, track who meets with whom, identify relationships you've never made public. Pattern of life exposed. A Stanford study proved that with phone metadata alone, they could identify a person's medical conditions, religious beliefs, and political affiliations with startling accuracy. They don't need to read your messages. Your behavior writes the story for them. But knowing all this raises an uncomfortable question that most people are afraid to ask. Chilling effect. When you know you're being watched, you change. You self-censor. You avoid certain topics, certain people, certain ideas. This is the chilling effect, and it's the real goal of surveillance. Control. A study published in Journalism and Mass Communication Quarterly found that after the Snowden revelations, Wikipedia searches for terrorism-related topics dropped 30%. Not because people stopped being curious, because they became afraid. The greatest prison people live in is the fear of what other people think. Journalists report that sources have dried up. Whistleblowers won't come forward. Lawyers say clients won't speak freely. Doctors note patients withholding information. Surveillance doesn't just observe behavior, it shapes it. Democracy requires dissent. It requires the freedom to explore unpopular ideas privately before bringing them public. It requires spaces where power cannot reach. Surveillance eliminates those spaces. The Stasi in East Germany had one informant for every 63 citizens. In America, with digital surveillance, the ratio is effectively 1-to-1. Every citizen is watched constantly. The watchers just wear corporate logos instead of uniforms. But there's something about this system that should disturb you even more than the surveillance itself. Who watches them? The NSA claims it prevents terrorist attacks. They cannot cite a single major attack that mass surveillance alone prevented. The FBI's own Inspector General found that Section 215 produced no significant leads. 0 billion spent, nothing gained. But the surveillance continues. The budgets grow. The powers expand, because terrorism was never the real goal. Control is the goal. The same agencies that spy on you routinely lie to Congress. James Clapper, Director of National Intelligence, lied under oath about collecting data on Americans. He faced no consequences. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. FISA court proceedings are classified. Intelligence budgets are classified. Surveillance capabilities are classified. They demand total transparency from you while operating in total darkness themselves. 1. They collect everything. 2. They answer to no one. 3. They face no consequences. 4. They want more power. Edward Snowden, who exposed illegal surveillance, lives in exile. The officials who conducted that illegal surveillance live in luxury. The message is unmistakable. Expose the watchers and you become the criminal. But understanding this system is only the first step. The question becomes, what can you actually do about it? Reclaim privacy. You cannot escape surveillance completely. That's the uncomfortable truth. But you can make yourself a harder target. You can reclaim some of what's been taken. Privacy is not about having something to hide. Privacy is about having something to protect. Your autonomy, your dignity, your right to think freely without an audience. Start with your devices. Use end-to-end encrypted messaging. Signal, not SMS. Use a VPN. Use privacy-focused browsers. Disable location services you don't need. Review app permissions ruthlessly. Question every permission request. Cover your cameras. Disable always-on microphones. Opt out of data collection when possible. Use cache sometimes. The surveillance machine runs on convenience. Every friction you add is resistance. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither. But the real change comes from demanding accountability. Support organizations fighting for digital rights. Pressure your representatives. Make surveillance a voting issue. Privacy is not dead until we stop fighting for it. They want you to believe resistance is futile, that privacy is obsolete, that you have nothing to hide. Don't believe them. The watchers fear one thing above all: citizens who watch back. They're watching you right now. They were watching before you clicked on this video, and they'll continue watching after you close it. Your phone, your computer, your home, your car, your patterns, your relationships, your thoughts as revealed by your searches. All documented, all stored, all legal. Legal does not mean right. The surveillance state wasn't built by tyrants. It was built by corporations seeking profit and governments seeking power, enabled by citizens clicking "I accept" without reading. We traded our privacy for convenience. We surrendered our autonomy for safety that never came. If you want to keep a secret, you must also hide it from yourself. But Orwell was wrong about one thing. He imagined a boot stomping on a human face forever. What we got was subtler, softer, a screen that watches us while we watch it, a device we carry willingly into every moment of our lives. The cage door isn't locked. We just forgot it was a cage. The first step to freedom is knowing you're not free. If you made it this far, comment surveillance state if you'll never look at your devices the same way again. Every government lies. Every corporation extracts. The question is whether you'll keep feeding the machine or start starving it. Until next time, question everything. Trust nothing at face value. The truth is out there. You just have to follow the data trail. Like and subscribe to keep exposing what they don't want you to see.